So in that quiz, just practice the question. Wherever you stuck, just let me know. And we are working on that questions, other question. There might be some option swapping. So we are working on that. I will update you. But meanwhile, just practice from that quiz, and whatever I am delivering you in every class regarding Java syntax, function calling, object creation, go through it so that you should not make any mistake. Okay. Any question you have from the last class, then you can ask me.
No, sir.
Anything that is not clear, so I can start some more programs today based on the mathematics, how you can solve mathematical logic in Java, so that if any mathematics logic they ask, you should be able to answer that.
सर एक बार लिंक दे देना वो दोबारा क्विज की मैंने सेव नहीं कर रखी थी वो
अच्छा हाँ ठीक है, मैं शेयर कर दूंगा. बट आई थिंक इंस्टीट्यूट ने शेयर किया है व्हाट्सएप पे. डिड यू नॉट रिसीव दैट?
सर व्हाट्सएप पे कोई नहीं है मैसेज
ओके, मैं रीशेयर कर दूंगा. ओके ओके, आई विल शेयर दैट लिंक. ओके, 1 minute. Okay, I think other two will not join. Okay, so here, as you can see on my screen, um, if any mathematical questions or mathematical based expression they ask you in the exam, how you can able to calculate it. So first try to solve the parenthesis one, means whatever the expression, first see if the values are given or not. Obviously it's a objective question, so they will mention the values like here as integer, total theory marks 350, practical 90, total marks 500. It's mentioned here, right? So they will not give you a question where the values are not given. They will obviously give a variable with the value. You have to place inside the expression and calculate. But sometimes the students or candidate they made mistake because they not solve properly the expression. What you have to do, you just need to place the value here, solve first parenthesis internally, like here 350 plus 90, it will become 440. Then once you are solved this parenthesis will remove 440 into 100, it will become 44,000. Then divide by total marks, that is 500. So 400 will get vanish, means it will get deduct. It is something like this. Try to first solve this parenthesis, remove the parenthesis. So once you remove this, first you add this. Okay, the addition will remove the parenthesis. It will give you 440, right? Then you will multiply with 100. It will again remove the parenthesis and it will become the value this one, right? Now when you divide, now the complete parenthesis will remove, then you can divide it by 350. So when you just remove 20, then whatever the coming after this 4400 divide by 35 will be your actual result. Am I clear? Oh, sorry. Total marks will be 500. Here I am taking 350, sorry. So here 500 will come and a total 00. So 00 will get removed. 440 divided by 5. That will be something 88% something will come. So this is the actual approach. This is the normal example I have taken, simple example. That's why it might be looking simple to you, but there might be an expression where too many parentheses are there. Then you need to be careful while solving the question. First solve first parenthesis, then get the value. Okay, remove the parenthesis, then in that way you need to do that. So here only normal expression are there, that's the reason it's simple, but in the exam they might ask you with multiple parentheses. So just see where the opening parentheses are there, closing parentheses, then in that way you need to solve that. Okay. Now this is the next question. Hmm. Okay, this is based on collection, so it might be you are aware. Okay, let's take a simple one. Okay, so this is again the function calling. One code is there. So in Java, how we make a class, you already know, right? Public class. So this public is not mandatory. You can remove the public also because you wanted to access the class within this package only. You are not accessing from outside or you are not accessing from another class. So here I created one function multiply to num and I'm passing two parameter a and b, and I'm checking is my parameter b is null. If it is 0, not null. If it is 0, then I will going to return 0. If it is greater than 0, I will going to return a plus. I will going to call this a is a comma b minus 1. Okay, means it will be something called a recursion base. Means if this condition is, do you know recursion? In C language you might have learned. Any one of you, are you aware about recursion?
A little bit, bro.
Yeah, please let tell me whatever you know. Anything, means even somewhat idea you have, you can share it because I will going to explain on that. I will going to add more on that. Something you remember, anything, any approach or what actually we do it in the recursion.
The program will call itself,
Yeah,
and
correct.
we going to run till the uh, function condition ends.
Yes. So recursion is function calling itself. So it will be like a function call itself again and again unless some specific conditions are met. So here also it happening. Once these conditions are satisfy any of this, it will going to return a plus, again the call will, it will going to do some changes in a b minus 1. Flow will go back again it will come, again it will check which condition are specifying. So it will be something like it will going to happen like this internally. when you will going to check that, it will be something happen a plus, the flow will again call that. Okay, so it will be again a plus a plus a plus, like this it will goes on. Okay, and once the b value will become 0 or b value once satisfied, suppose b value now becomes 0, so it will check if b is equal to 0, it will simply place 0 here. So what is the current value of a that user has passed? So based on that, a plus a plus a plus a, you will get that, and we're going to check it from here what value we are passing. So from this you can get an idea, like here I'm accepting both parameter num1 num2, which is ultimately a and b. I am accepting from the user. So based on the user input, it will going to do the addition. So it is recursion based. You have written a function here, public static int. Okay, static is also not mandatory to use. You can simply write a integer multiply only. You can remove it if you don't want. As it is giving a method here. Okay, let me change this. Because this parameter are static, that's why it is giving an error. But normally when you declare any function, you don't need to add public static all the time. It's on you. So let me just make changes again. So here, once you write the function, it is in the form of recursive way it will work. How it happen? Whatever parameter that user will read it from a, okay, let me run this and show you once. I'm running this code. Okay. Okay, let me rub this. It is asking me to enter a value. So I will going to enter suppose 5. Next value will be my 3. So it is giving 15. How it is come 3? So you can see this 5 and 3 will be initialized here. Okay, it will come. It's check b is equal to 0. No. Is b is greater than 3? Yes. B is what? Your 3, right? So it will going to write down 5 and this will going to become 2. Now this flow will again go back. Now it will be like this. It will going to write down a, that is 5. It will become now 1, and once it becomes 0, you will get a 15. Am I clear to you? You can see
Yes,
this.
sir.
Yeah, this a plus multiply b, so it will going to write down a plus, the flow will come here, again it will going to move here, then it will going to check what is a b value. B value is still greater than 0, again it will going to do addition. So it will be something like this. This one question was asked similar to this, so you should be aware. A plus, so it will be a plus, suppose multiply a b minus 1. Okay, so like this call will happen unless the b is specifying some condition here. So like this a plus will go on and you will get a 15 here. So this is a recursion based program. Recursion means a function is calling to itself. You can see it here. Normally what we have seen in the last class, where I was calling from the main function like this, whatever argument I was passing, that argument was going to my user defined function and it was working in that way. But here I am calling from the function itself, not from main. From main, I'm just assigning a value to this function. Then based on this condition, I'm calling again to this function, and this will goes on unless some of the conditions specified. I think I've shared the code, right, in the GitHub. Did you check that? Do you have an access of that GitHub?
No, bro.
But I have shared in the chat only last time. Okay, let me reshare it. So this is a link. Okay, this link you just copy it right now. Okay, this is the link. Last time also I've shared this link on the chat. Copy this right now and keep it with you and practice the code. Okay, all the folders are there based on their name. You can get the files, different Java file. If you click on this src, you can get this code. Okay, each folder will having certain file. So based on that, daily I will going to tell you whenever we have a session, I will going to tell you which are the folder name. Right now here, which is our folder name. You can see math is your package and the folder name is Bhavesh Hack with the mathematics. This is one folder. uh, while taking a class, I made this program. So I will going to upload this also in the GitHub. Check for this folder name, and then these are the several programs that are based on that. So which program is based on recursion? This example 6.java. Watch the video at least. I think you might be not watching the videos. Watch the videos so you will get clear what programs is covered in today's session. Based on that, you practice that. Am I clear to everyone how this recursion they are working? This function is calling to this function back. Okay. Is it clear to everyone how this function is calling?
Yes, bro.
What about others?
Yes, bro.
Okay. Uh, yeah. Ambegeshwari, Anushka, are you able to clear? Means are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this mathematical question you need to understand in this way. Before let's do not go much complex. Okay, so the website that I have already told you, Oracle website. So we have seen the function calling. Okay, let me explain you for the topic. Yes. So there are for loop also. So condition, for loop and while already covered. Okay, but there is different way of declaring a for loop also. Okay, that I need to show you. See, normally you might have seen for loop like this. We have an initialization, termination, increment, and we write a statement inside a curly brace. Okay, this is the actual syntax. You can see it here. If you wanted to print from 1 to 10, how do you do that? You declare a for loop, you initialize a value of any variable, you check the condition, you increment and decrement it, and you print it. Am I right? This is the syntax, right? You all are aware about this. But in Java 8 and 9 onward, they have started using a for loop in this way. So here, what actually the thing is, you just need to declare one variable, temporary variable, colon, the variable where you have initialized a value. So this temporary variable will keep on running based on the number of element present in this variable. This number is what? This is an array and it is a one dimension array. How many element it is having? 10 element. It means this item, which is a temporary variable, will be assigned with how many element? 10 time, and it will going to run how many time? 10 time. And that's the reason it is printing 10 time. This variable item hold the current value of number of this number array, and it will going to iterate that much time. Am I clear to this? I'm clear, all of you, how this for loop is working. See the differences here. You just need to declare one temporary variable, colon, any variable that you wanted to iterate. Like here, you wanted to iterate 10 element. You simply assign to the array or any variable, and based on that, you can iterate it. But this variable is temporary. You can take any variable here, A, B, C, D, item, any variable you can take it, colon, numbers, which you are declaring here. So based on the number of element it is having, this item, a temporary variable, will be assigned every time, and this will going to iterate that many time. If you changes this to 12, this item variable will be assigned 12 time, and it will going to run 12 time. Is it clear to everyone how this for loop is working? This is an enhanced for loop that is added in a Java 8 onwards, and this is used to work with the collection and array. Am I clear?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Can we print from the middle using this enhanced for loop?
Yeah, you can just put the condition here. If item is greater than this, then you are going to print that.
Okay, bro.
Inside this for loop, you just print that, you just write down the condition, so that once you have written this, if you write this, if item greater than 3, okay, then you just take the curly braces, greater than 3, then in that curly brace you write down system out print, or you can write down also like this, item greater than equal to 3 and item less than equal to 8. So it will going to print from 3 to 8. So in between range also it will going to work. So like this it will work. And normally nowadays, in Python also, are you aware about Python programming? Any one of you?
Yes, bro.
So in that Python for loop, how do we write? Are you aware?
Yes, bro. We have to add the variable before the bracket for I in range, and
Correct.
within the bracket we have to give the values
So you
specified.
write like this, for I in a range or for I in a something variable. So this is also like that. I is what their temporary variable. The syntax is something like this, for I in a range 1 to 10. Okay, so it means that I wanted to assign I starting from 1, and it will go till n minus 1. So in Python we goes till n minus 1, so it will going to print 1 to 9. So I is here what, temporary variable. Okay, that will going to assign in the range 1 to 10. But here I'm taking same item as a temporary variable, but that will going to assign based on this colon numbers. Number is what, your array that will having a value from 1 to 10. They follow all the element. They do not do like n minus 1 value. They will move to all the element. So in this way we need to work. So, normally they will going to ask from this question also, like how this for loop and this difference between two for loop. So one is this one. This is efficient while you're working with collection array, and this is more faster. You don't miss initialization, condition checking will become complex, right? So this you can follow it. One more thing, if we print, if in the exam they give you like this, it means infinite loop. If nothing is present, only the terminate, it means that this will going to run infinite time. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, bro.
Yes. Yes, so this is a way of doing that. You can have this link, follow this link And this question exercise also you try to solve from your side. You can see this operator must be used in building dash which compute value. So what are the answer for this? Okay, expression are the core component of dash. Statement may be grouped into what? Following code snippet is an example of what expression? 1 into 2 into 3. Can you tell me answer? Statement are roughly equivalent to the sentence in a natural language, but instead of ending with period, a statement end with what? A block of a group of 0 or more statement between balance and can be used anywhere in a single statement is allowed. So according to you, what will be the answer? Okay, just start with this third one. Tell me what is this? Just try to think on that. Whatever we have covered till now, it is based on that. So they might be asked question like this also. Just think once if you get any idea on this. No, this is not based on the program. It is just a fill in the blanks given to you. A statement may be grouped into what? What is a statement? What is a statement? And when you group the statement, it become what? Can anyone answer? Okay, block. Okay, let's check it. Yeah. So most of them you are correct. See, this is the answer. You can check the answer also from here. First, try to solve this. If you are unable to solve, you can check the answer. Click on this and you can see it. So operator is used in building an expression. Okay. Statement may be grouped into the block. Okay. When you combine a group of instruction, it will become a block, and block is represented by two curly braces. Whatever you write inside this curly brace, they are called as a statement, and the whole this is called as a block. From curly brace, this is called a block. This is called a group of a statement, and when you close this within a parenthesis, it will become a block. So good. Many of them you have given correct answer. This is an example of compound expression. When you have a more than one multiplication in the expression, it will become compound. Okay, like 1 into 2, if you do it, it can be a multiplication operation. An expression, compound expression means where you have a multiple operation. Okay, so like 1 into 2, 2 into 3, 3 plus 4. So it will be a compound. And a statement is ended with the terminate symbol, semicolon. So what was the statement was there? Statement are roughly equivalent to the sentence in a natural language, but instead of ending with period, a statement end with semicolon. You can see statement is ending with a semicolon. This is also known as terminate symbol. And you can see a block is a group of 0 or more statement between balanced braces. Braces means same curly braces that I told you right now. Balanced braces means if it is opening, it should be closed also. If you do not close, it will give an error. Okay, you can see here, error is coming, right? So balanced braces means wherever it open, it should be closed. So like this, you need to solve. You can see if you, they can be asked you in this way also. This is what assignment operator. This is increment operator. here what you're doing, you are printing the statement. Here your object creation. So from this they can ask you what this step known for. This step is known for object creation. So here the most basic flow control supported by Java programming is a dash statement. So like this question you will get it, and based on that you can solve it also. You can check it if, and suppose this is also, they will give you like this. What output do you think the code will produce if a number is 3? If you make this 3 is greater than 0, condition true. If a number is equal to 0, no. So it will going to print second string, and it will going to print third string. So what will be the output? Let's see that. Yeah, see, second string and third string. So as I said you, if you if this value of this variable become 3, okay, condition true, it will come inside. Is it equal to 0? No. So obviously it won't be print this, because when condition true, then only it will print inside if condition. Otherwise it will print the else part. So it will going to print else part, and this is the outer loop. This is the outer of this if condition. So definitely it will going to print this line. So that's the reason it is printing this line. Okay. Now similarly you have to do it. So I'm giving you as a like, obviously you can see the answer, but practice based on these questions. Okay, I'm sending you the link. Check it once after the class. So next session when we connect, I will going to start collection. From collection, how you can understand. Collection is just like a data structure where you can collect the data, manipulate the data. So in the next session we will do that. Do you have any question, any one of you, regarding pattern or the question that we are solving? The question will become like this, right? This is one of the pattern. This question they will give you, and based on that you need to answer. Anyone having any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Others?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then, so we will connect in a